Man, so we're in a hot market, man. This is a very I hate to use the word competitive, Brian, because that's not the mentality I have. I'm always one to collaborate, not compete. Is my mindset.
I love what you said in like the first thing you said in the opener was you don't see people as competition.
No.
Talk about that, man, because I don't either.
Yeah.
I think I talk about that all the time. Tell me why you think that and what made you start thinking that.
So here's the thing. When I got started in this business, Brian, in 2005, I had the reverse mindset. I would see wholesalers and other investors as my area. Like I would hoard information, right? So when I found a strategy, a technique, a postcard, a list that worked really well, I wouldn't want to share that information, even though I've always had a very abundant mindset, a very giving attitude and approach to life. When I got started in this business, for whatever reason, I was kind of guarded with my information. And, about 2007, I hired a local mentor, and he really shifted my mindset to that because he was so giving. Like there was nothing that he would hold back. And ever since about then, I've always challenged myself to give more than I even want, right? So I'm always thinking about how can I put other people's needs and interest in mind versus my own. And what I found is that I don't do it because of that, but a byproduct of it, Brian, is that you're going to get so much more than you even want or expect just by doing it. And that's part of the reason I know you and I are doing a podcast show is I've listened to your show. You're not asking for anything. And if you do, it's because you're going to provide value. I'm kind of the same way. And so I look at other wholesalers as how can we JV? How can we close more deals, make more money, and impact more people in the process? Not, I'm trying to beat you to the punch or I'm trying to get this deal. I mean, there's millions of homeowners out there, right? I mean, I know you're in a smaller market, but, there's so many people and there's so much opportunity out there that I think if people change their mindset, they're going to be able to get much more out of life.
But agree with me here. That's not the norm.
No, it's not.
It's so far beyond the norm. Right here in Birmingham, well, when I first got started, man, it's so cutthroat. Everyone's got that cutthroat mentality that everything's a competition. I don't want to tell you. I remember when I was beginning, I was asking this guy a question that had been doing it for a while. I just asked him just a simple question about what's working for you, what kind of marketing techniques are working for you right now, and he was like, well.
Yeah,
like he wouldn't give me anything. Yeah. He wouldn't engage with me. I was like, really? And that's when I kind of discovered. I know you and I both probably listened to Joe McCall's podcast. Mm-hmm. I first started listening to Joe McCall. Is the first thing I ever heard of before Bigger Pockets was around. I was listening to Joe McCall, and he's giving out just tons and tons of free content. Everything he's bringing on guests that are giving out. I listened to an episode this morning about Facebook ads on Joe McCall's podcast, and that's just tremendous information. And you got guys in my local market that think they've got secrets and they think they've got all the answer. There are no secrets, man. There may be something that you haven't thought of, but it's not a secret. It's all out there. And so I don't get that. And so I just kind of leave that alone as far as the competition type of stuff. There's even another REIA in our town that wants to see us as competition, and I don't see them as competition at all. Yeah, like I want to work with them. They just won't engage with me. Right. And so I'm with you, man. And the business opportunities, let me ask you this. Have you seen the business opportunities come your way as a direct result of being a giving mentality, having a giving
Absolutely,
mentality?
Man. Doors open up and opportunities come from places that I would have never expected or imagined. And again, that's not why I do it. I think it's just a byproduct of giving. One of my favorite books is The Go-Giver. And so I want to encourage everybody listening in, go get that book, The Go-Giver. And I think if you find yourself guarded like I was when I got started in this business 10 years or so ago, if you find yourself wanting to not share and be giving, read that book, and it's going to slowly, I think you might have a paradigm shift as to why you're going to get more out of life by giving. I think Tony Robbins, I'm sure you follow him. He's one of the guys I just love. I've gotten so much from him throughout the years. I think one of the quotes that I absolutely love, he says, is the secret to living is giving. Right. And wow. For me, I always remember that when I'm talking to people that are either below me or above me, I'm always trying to see how can I add value to the relationship. I'm such a fan of consuming information. And so when I'm at the gym, when I'm out walking around the park in the middle of the day or doing something, I'm in the car, I always take it as an opportunity to better myself. And so for years, I've been listening to podcasts. And it just got to a point that I'm like, I feel like I have a lot of value and a lot of things to share with people. And whenever you have an opportunity to build an audience, even if you have no intention of selling something, I think in this day and age, it's always something that you should strive to do. How can you build an audience? How can you build a brand to provide value? And at some point, it's kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about in his book, you want to jab, 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 right hook. So you give, 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 give. And then it's like, at some point you can ask for something, and that's totally cool because you're providing value. And so initially my thought was, well, maybe how can I joint venture with people? How can I do more goals, or how can I do more deals? Right. And so I've always had that giving heart and that giving mentality. So I'm like, this is a great way to share with people what I'm doing, what's working, and maybe they'll come to me for more deals, and maybe not. And that's perfectly cool too. You know what I mean? And then it turned into people coming to me for coaching. And so that's how you and I met. We were at a workshop in St. Louis about coaching, and we instantly hit it off, and we talked a lot about real estate and the different things that we're doing. And that's how you and I are connected here on the show.
That's awesome. So you just name dropped my all-time favorite marketer.
Nice.
And Gary Vaynerchuk, when that book came out, I rewrote. I'm a big goal type of person. I like to write down my goals. I like to write down my vision. I like to write down even like mission type of statements, things that I want to get done. I think that when you start to look at the really super successful people and what they do, and you try to emulate what they do, that's one of the things that they do on a constant basis. So I kind of challenged myself to do that a couple of years back. So I rewrote my business plan-ish, and then my mission statements. And my number one business kind of mission is jab, 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 right hook.
Yeah.
Like it's give, 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 give. And if you listen to Gary at all, Gary Vaynerchuk, he says the title of the book was actually jab, 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 right hook.
Interesting. Yeah, I love it.
But the editors made him make it only jab, 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 right hook. It's give, 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 and give some more, and then ask.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. It's so many people are out there with their hand out asking I can't tell you how many people come to me, which I don't know them. I don't have a relationship with them. And they approach me wanting something, and I get it, but that's the wrong approach, right? It's how can I add value? What do you have going on? Are there synergies? How can I help you? And maybe you can help me. And if not, that's fine. But you know what I mean? And I think if more people had that mentality and that approach, they would just their relationships would grow. They would just see more results and just more fruit out of life. I know that sounds kind of cliche and corny, but
you're a facilitator.
Yeah,
I'm a facilitator. I've kind of found we need Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm dropping the name again. You got to have self-awareness. You got to know who you are and what your strengths are. Stop trying to work on your weaknesses. Forget about your weaknesses. Double down on your strengths and identify your strengths, double down on your strengths, and just go. Totally agree. And I'm a facilitator, man. I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths. I'm good at pulling stuff out of people. That's why I love doing the podcast. I love doing joint ventures. My coaching students that I have, we do deals together. And I think that that's super, super important. I see that's what I see a lot of that in you, Alex. I love real estate because everybody can win.
Yeah.
You don't have to put someone else down. It doesn't have to be the super, super cutthroat competitive thing if you don't want it to be. And you're gonna end up making more money. Not that I'm focused on that in the beginning, but you're gonna end up having better relationships, making more money in the end to do it that way, have integrity, and that's some of my core business beliefs. You've had some killer guests on lately. I listen to it, man. It's great.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm always looking for feedback. So any constructive criticism you have, by all means.
No, well, I'm not in the constructive criticism business. I'm in. You need to do you, and you need to do what makes you happy.
Yeah, I get it.
And if you're doing what makes you happy, man, you don't need to take constructive. No offense, but screw everybody else, man. You're doing you. And
I appreciate that,
dude. I love it, man. It's really, and you know this, and I think we're very similar in the sense that we both have got like kind of giving personalities.
Yeah, for sure.
We want to give as much as we possibly can. So it's really you're just teeing up some amazing guests and just letting them provide the content.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's not me and it's not you. It's the content. It's the amazing content. And
I think what we do is we have this platform now where we can attract these high level people and that have a giving mentality and a giving heart, and everybody wins. It's just awesome.